All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another weekend update. So I've made, as far as gym changes, I've made the schedule change there. So now I'm doing 4 days on with 2 days of running. So 4 days strength, 2 days running, 1 day is a double. So it's strength and running. It's going pretty good this week. It's lacked a little bit of consistency. But that's fine. I usually allow for a couple of weeks for habit formation to stick. So hopefully we'll get more and more consistent as we go. The diet changes incredibly inconsistent. I don't know. Well, I kind of know the root of the problem, but we got to dial that sucker in. I made the changes in my charts, so I have it all marked. But for some reason, I've just been having a hard time hopping back on the grind. But we'll get there. I've only been back for like 2 weeks, so we'll let things kind of settle in first. And there's some habits that I still need to nip in the bud before that happens. But we'll keep you updated. All of the scheduled study work time things, while I haven't officially made the hourly schedules, I have started working in a lot more time for individual projects. So whenever I be fucking off, instead now I'm actually doing things, which is good. I just need to get not only more consistent with that, but then completely develop the scheduled times. I really just got to sit down and write it in a way that makes sense and is not too daunting, and it would take care of itself. But we will get there as well. So we're moving in the right direction, but we haven't completely locked it in yet. So hopefully in the next, ideally 2 weeks, at the end of that period, we'd start, really getting locked in, really buttoning up, which means that some of the topics I have started working on, as in working more on YouTube, working more on the book. I actually done a lot of work there, working more on, that's pretty much, those two have been the big consistent improvement. So I have yet to work in language learning. I have yet to work in official study time. I've started stepping back in, but not in any way that feels official to me, so we're not even going to count it. It's been kind of here and there, so that needs to be improved. Credit repair is full force. That has been, after the last video, I ironed out I split my finances into different categories, and then based on those categories is what they're percentage based, and so whatever is in there is what I'm allowed to spend. And so I pinpointed what were like the top 10-ish highest priority goods or services that I need to purchase or focus on, and credit repair is number one. So all of my investment category is going towards that currently, which has been knocking it down. So as I continue to work more and more, we'll see more consistent gains there. All the credit cards should be paid off, and I should be up to speed by the end of this month, I believe. And then next month, I should be able to get the third credit card that I discussed in the previous video, the one that has you supply the credit limit, and then you can build off of that. So looking forward to that. Schedule for Xbox and drinking is yet to come out. I'm still weaning off those habits slowly but surely. So I'm somewhat brainstorming. It's not, a life or death thing. I'm not prioritizing it as number one in my mind, something that I'm okay with just brainstorming and monitoring and moderating on my own for now. But ideally, we'd like to come to some sort of schedule-based plan to where I know exactly when I'm there and when I'm not, and when is okay. Because then it's, it's guilt-free whenever I want to do it. But we're not there completely yet. So still improvement. The cleaning fix has started already. I just need to pinpoint days. So I've ramped up the level of cleaning and the level of care that I take in looking around and seeing what really needs to be cleaned, spotting fingerprints on doors and polishing the fridge and taking care of drawers and stuff like that, sweeping the floors, mopping the floors, because, I have hardwood, so I was just vacuuming before, but now I am mopping, which obviously makes a fucking huge difference. You should see these fucking pads that come off the bottom of this sucker. But that's good. At least that's moving in the right direction. I am now prioritizing more deeper levels of cleaning. So that's, again, a step in the right direction, but not completely where I want it to be yet. 2 books. I wanted to work that in as well. I've become more consistent as I came back with the 1 book. So I just need to work in the 2nd. And that, I think, would be a lot easier once I have prioritized time slots, because then I know when those things are going to occur and I'm not just flying by the seat of my pants. And, sometimes you're lazy, sometimes you're on it, and it's just inconsistent. So I do need to work that back in, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So the moral of the story here is that we have made improvements over the last week, but none of the improvements have become where I would like them to be. I've been in a position in the past where I was pretty locked in on everything that I wanted to focus on. I had all the areas of priority highlighted and labeled, and I knew exactly what I want to do with them, and I was locked in. And so I know what that feels like, and this is definitely a jump up from there, definitely a push in the right direction. So it's going to be more difficult than it was in the past, but it's okay. So I'm okay with the rate of increase, but I would like it to exponentially increase itself over time. So again, hopefully over the next 2 or 3 weeks, these things will get more and more locked in as we go. So that should be good. And a lot of it is going to be tied to me making more money as well, now that I'm back to work officially. And the finances have been pretty locked in. I've been pretty consistent with that. So that makes a huge difference, that I can see exactly what levels I'm at and where I'm headed. And then I've got the list printed out as well, to checklist, so that I can see exactly what's going on. It kind of makes it a little bit more fun, a little bit more like a game. So we could slowly tackle problems as they pop up, and I could just hit it one by one instead of being like, oh, I need this, and I need this, and I need this. It's too much crowding. So that at least has freed up that section of my mind to where I know I just have to worry about this next thing, and then we're good to go after that. But as far as the personal improvement stuff goes, that's where we're at. We're doing good, but not great. Better, but not perfect. And so, we'll see improvements over time, and we'll stay updated on there. I mentioned it lightly at the end of this video, or at the end of the last video, that I have gotten into home brewing. So I made prison wine, which was literally just grape juice, sugar, and bread yeast. So about as cheap as you can get. And I made 3 batches of that, 1 grape, 1 cranberry, and 1 just literally just sugar, water, and yeast, because that's all you need for that reaction to take place. And I really just wanted to see what it was like. It was okay, you know what I mean? Especially the bread yeast has a pretty low alcohol tolerance, so all those prison wines came out pretty sweet. But now I'm usually using actual yeast, and I did an orange honey wine. No, I think I used sugar for that one as well. So that one's kind of an in-between. And that one turned out okay, and I used real yeast for that one. And then I made an actual traditional honey wine or mead that was blackberry, honey, and water, and let that sit. And those both turned out pretty good. The mead is obviously better than the orange wine, but we're moving along. Eventually, I'd like to do probably 2 or so more batches of mead, get those bottled, and then I want to try making a traditional wine, do that a couple times, and then step either into beer or champagne once. I'm not really super excited about champagne, but I'd like to at least know how to use it, especially since I have some understanding of the difference in yeast types. So we'll go there. And from what I understand, beer is way harder, and you need more equipment, and you need to be a lot more careful. So that'll be, we might have to step that off until I have a little bit more space to do stuff with. So that might have to wait a year or a couple of years. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But that's interesting. And then pretty close on the docket of investing is, in the investment category anyways, is the hydroponic setup. So that should be coming soon. So I'll be making videos about both when they come up. It'll probably be a little bit before I make another batch of mead, but I will film the whole process, and I'll go over everything, and we'll see how it goes, from start to finish, from creation to bottling, and so on. But it's pretty cool, and I got to do better. Last time, I got some chunks of stuff in the bottles, and I disturbed a bunch of the sediment on the bottom, so there's some yeast and stuff floating around. So I had to kind of let them sit, and then you have to leave like an inch or two at the bottom of every bottle, because if you try to pour it, you're just gonna get too much shit in your glass. But it's fine. It's working out pretty good for the first time. I'm happy with it, so that's good. And then I'm looking forward to the hydroponic setup as well, because that's going to be a big opportunity, I think, in the future. And good to just have fresh greens as the months go by. I can just continuously harvest, especially with a multi-tiered setup. I'm not sure if I'm going to do towers or horizontal planes, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I don't even want to try and make a decision on that right now. But that'll be cool. Oh, and then my partner just got a big PC, so with a nice freaking wide monitor, so I can definitely get heavier into the editing now. Hopefully that'll make some improvements, because I was already doing the very minimal stuff that I do now. It was kind of taxing my laptop a little bit, so hopefully this will make some improvements there, and I can get some more stuff rolling out and make some better animations and whatnot, and then camera and audio and stuff like that is to come as well. But in time, we can't rush these things. I can only make so much. I'm not a millionaire yet, so I gotta pace myself. But dude, I think that's all I got. I think that's all I have for today. So I'll keep you updated. Hopefully next week is even better news, but we'll see when we get there. So thank you for watching, and Nick out.